Hi, welcome back to the Blissful Heart channel. My name is Desiree Lee and I am here to give you your Bliss Fix. We are coming in for class 4 in the first semester of Divine Feminine University. Class is in session. Welcome back to my channel, to all of my subscribers, and for anybody that's new, I channel divine guidance of love, light, and powerful healing energy. I am a twin flame in full union, a Reiki master, and a yoga teacher. So I am here to be of service and help everybody find their soul purpose, live life in joy, and live life in love. I am so glad that you have come to the Divine Feminine University class. If this is your first time coming to class, it isn't necessarily something you need to do sequentially, although you might want to. It doesn't matter what time of year or day you come into this class. So if you're coming to this video a year after it's been posted, it is still completely relevant and pertinent to you. This is not like trapped in any kind of time box. My guides say it's timeless. And this is really about helping you come into union with your divine counterpart. Now, this also applies to people that don't consider themselves twin flames. This is about being an ignited goddess of energy, or God, right? Because divine feminine energy exists in both sexes. So it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. What matters is, are you loving yourself? And are you taking care of yourself? Are you healing your trauma? Are you here living your best life and working on those things? And my guides are channeling through me to help you remove all of the impurities, right? All of the things that are weighing you down and holding you back from living your best life. And when you do come to, you obviously never reach perfection, right? Like, I want to make that super clear. Nobody's ever perfect. But once we've removed enough of the dense lower vibration from our energetic body and our emotional and spiritual body, right? Then we can come into union with our divine counterpart, whether it's a twin flame or a soulmate, right? Because everybody has one of the other. Yes, there are multiple soulmates. Divine counterpart insinuates that they are your perfect partner in this life. Okay, so, and there are many, right? Depending on where you're vibrating at, you're going to be with the perfect partner for you at that time in your life, right? So when we are vibrating at a frequency of love, then we are going to be with a partner that is vibrating at a frequency of love, and then we can live in love. Now, with the twin flame experience, particularly when twin flames come into full union, they ideally, not necessarily, okay, but in my particular case, right, you end up collaborating and working together to serve humanity. And I'm so happy to announce that my twin and I are currently in the works of opening a crystal shop. Well, where we will be selling crystals and, maybe some sage and other like special things as we evolve. I definitely want to make it more of an apothecary shop, but we're starting with crystals. So I'm super excited about it. And I've made my first investments, so hopefully that shop will definitely be starting before the end of the year. So keep your eyes and ears open for that. If you're not following me on Instagram, I do live Instagram readings every Friday. So I usually will channel messages and then I will pull cards. Okay, so follow me on Instagram, Blissful Heart. And if you want more twin flame, like actually talking about current energy in the twin flame journey, for $1 a month, you can join my Patreon and I give one timeline reading a month. So check that out. All right. With all of that said and done, we're going to get started in our course. So the way that this works is that I have asked specific questions from the divine and have already pulled the cards to save time on that. And as I am talking about the energy, my guides will deliver assignments for you to do. So get a cup of coffee or tea, get a pen, get a paper. Let's get into this. So the first 3 cards I pulled from the Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle deck. And I swear, those of you that have been following me, tell me I'm not crazy, because I swear that I have pulled 2 out of 3 of these cards like exactly for divine masculine and divine feminine. I already checked my divine feminine university classes, and it wasn't in that, so I'm thinking it was a Patreon video. But I swear that these two cards came out exactly the same way, which says something to me. And I really would like to try to figure out when it was, because we're in some huge, cycle completion right now. We just finished that full moon in Aquarius, and it's a back-to-back full moon, so we're suspecting that there's going to be some additional closure next month when the full moon in Aquarius happens. But okay, let's talk about this. Card 37 represents something you need to know about the divine masculine. 37 is a 10, which is a completion number, and it says gray. Endings are inevitable. Now for the divine feminine, we have card 36, right? So 36, 37, we got that sequence. And then we have a 9 for the divine feminine. Something you need to know about you, right? Gold, you don't need someone else to fix you. And then for this union energy, on how this masculine and feminine energy connects, how it unites, and what energy it expresses when it's combined, confidence. Card 23, which is a 5. It comes with time and practice. So, 5 is definitely more of like a challenge number in terms of like being in that halfway point of our journey. And we're going to talk more about that in a moment. First, I want to address the endings are inevitable for this divine masculine energy. I feel like this is saying more that the divine masculine is always going to have some sort of ending of a toxic behavioral pattern, whether it happens immediately, like whether it's going to happen currently while you're watching this video, or whether it's going to happen in the near future or distant future. Endings are inevitable, right? So there's always going to be, yes, and they're definitely referring to the concept of them being in a relationship with their shadow twin. If you're not familiar with the shadow twin concept, it is the idea of us being with a partner that is very similar energetically to what we experience when we're around our true twin. However, the shadow twin brings up all of our shadow aspects, and it's an incredibly toxic, awful relationship. So not only does the divine feminine have this, I believe that it is definitely required to have this experience so that you can awaken all of these things that you need to heal in order to be happy and in a fulfilled partnership with your divine counterpart, okay? But it also says that your divine masculine needs to do this as well. I feel like it's quite honestly something that's required from most old souls. Younger souls don't necessarily go through that because, quite honestly, they probably couldn't handle it, but they also haven't developed a ton of karma because they're young souls. So there's not a lot of energy circling back that they have to repair. So anyway, a divine masculine is in a stage of completion here. We've got the number 10. We've got endings are inevitable. To me, it's saying that at the time that you're viewing this, that your divine counterpart is either just ended something or is in the process of ending something. And we see this woman looking out into the clouds with like a sailboat out in the clouds, and is saying that, this divine masculine is full of hope. But is also incredibly like traumatized, or at least, emotional about the ending that is taking place. They want to mention that it could be career, but it definitely feels more like a marriage. I'm hearing a marriage, or like a closure of a house. A separation with children. When children are involved, it gets really complicated, but there's an ending, and this divine masculine is full of hope and optimism about the future. Now, the divine feminine is in this space of like feeling very much self-sustained. The divine feminine isn't wishing or longing or wondering what the heck is going on with their divine masculine anymore. You've already done that. You've been there. You've been through that emotion. And you already are at this point where you are questioning whether or not you would even want to entertain inviting your divine masculine back into your life, that your cup is full, right? Like we see her with this cup, and it's like, my cup is full. I honestly feel so happy, and the idea of being in a relationship with anybody right now doesn't even appeal to me. And so we're seeing this union energy of confidence with time and practice. And so what I'm hearing is that the divine feminine is full of confidence, and is feeling very much in love with themselves and their life and very satisfied. And the divine masculine is in a has gotten an inkling of confidence, right? Where I'm feeling like, wow, I'm feeling like this divine masculine has actually been in an abusive relationship with their karmic or a shadow twin partner, whether it's karmic, right? But that their partner was actually manipulating them, and there was a lot of like gaslighting, and I'm feeling emotional abuse. So this divine masculine got enough confidence that they finally are stepping away, that they finally said enough is enough. And sometimes it's a matter of the kids coming of a certain age where they're like, okay, I can finally like go, okay, kids, you're old enough to know that your mother or your father and I don't care for each other, and we're taking this separation, So I feel like the divine masculine is also in a space of confidence, not quite as powerful as what the divine feminine is exuding, but that both of them are balanced in that regard. And I love this bag that this girl has on her chair with the flaming sword, as I'm hearing, just endings, ending anything that does not serve. And it definitely looks like she's on a bus and she's kind of looking off into the distance with hope, but definitely she looks a little traumatized, right? So it's like, I feel like this energy in particular, that the image is expressing is more what the divine masculine is embodying, but I'm also hearing that the divine feminine is kind of like sharing this confident energy with them. In fact, it's quite possible that the divine masculine felt inspired to leave their toxic relationship or place of employment, career, right? It's basically anything that's been holding them back from being happy, but being inspired by you, whether it's quite literally, like maybe you two, interact through text or on the phone, or whether it's like you actually are talking, or whether it's just more of an energetic exchange. But I do feel that the divine masculine has been inspired by you. So that is our overall guidance. So now we want to look at the lesson that you're learning currently at this time. And I pulled 2 cards for each question because I wanted to use 2 different decks. It just kind of gives some more depth to the answer, right? So we have the 8 card from Major Arcana, Strength, represented by garlic. And then we also have the Death card, which, I don't always honor reversals, but the Death card did come out reversed, and I do feel like it applies here. So what can you learn from what you're currently going through on your journey right now? So what they're saying to me is that even though you're in this space of not needing anyone to fix you, that there's a little bit of resentment associated with this energy, and they're saying that your heart is kind of closed off. So you feel very safe, you feel very protected, and you're also a little bit afraid. And so you also have some walls stacked up. And so while you are incredibly confident, you're not being very vulnerable or open. And so they're saying that what you're learning at this time is that strength, this is such a beautiful message, but that strength isn't necessarily represented by being like, I can do it all by myself. I am in control of my life, that is actually it can become a hindrance in terms of moving forward in your life. And while you needed it, you did need that energy. You did need that attitude to get out of a situation. You had to heal, and you needed to have your walls up and protect yourself so that you can cut all those cords with the toxic people that were in your life and taking advantage of you, and you were learning to say no, right? And so we also are seeing the death card alongside this strength card, which, just as a note to major arcana cards, just kind of like a bigger message, right? Like a more robust message. But like, because the death card was reversed, is saying like there has been a call for you already. You've been getting the call to let your guards down, to not be in such a state of resistance, that your strength comes from within. And that your strength is not necessarily saying, you don't have to say no to everybody anymore, right? That you can start to entertain letting people back into your life, because you already have developed all the strength that you've needed to protect yourself and keep yourself safe from getting hurt or taken advantage of. So you've been resistant to the ending of that attitude. And you're now kind of realizing that you are living in a little bit of fear, and that, it's not necessarily where you want to be anymore. And so I'm hearing that you're very afraid to be vulnerable. And this is so normal after you've been traumatized. This is so normal. And, just because I brought this up, I don't know, I'm just being called right now to mention that I am not a licensed therapist, okay? So please remember that. And if you feel the need to go see a professional, I mean, all the kids are doing it these days. Like, it's just so socially acceptable now. I think it's so awesome. When I was in high school, when I was young, like, everybody automatically assumed there was something so wrong with you if you went to therapy. And I love this era we're in, where everybody knows that there's something wrong with everybody. Like, we're all just like, everybody's like, there's something wrong with me, and so it's just like, I know now we see therapy as a sign of strength. Yeah, so that's a beautiful message as well. Like, it is powerful to ask for help. And we're going to hear more of that. It is powerful to ask for help, and it is also incredibly powerful to surrender and to let shit go, and to, allow yourself to be vulnerable, because, gosh, wow, this is such a big message. I love this, because nothing happens when there's no growth forced upon you, right? If you are like, so much protection of yourself that you're not even taking any kind of risks. You're not out putting yourself out there trying to maybe just make some new friends, or, explore your crystal shop business, whatever it is, right? If you're not putting yourself out there, then you're not growing, and you're stagnant, and life is not happening there. There's nothing is going to happen there. So yes, it's safe, but it's not healthy. And I can tell you this, that if you resist change for too long, it will be forced upon you. And I'm getting the image of like a rock and a stream, and the stream becomes like a forceful river, and it's just a little rock, right? So eventually the power of this water is going to push the rock over and down into the water, deeper into the stream, and it's going to be tumbling around with a bunch of other rocks and sand. And it's like, that's what my guides are delivering for the image of like being so stubborn that you refuse to put yourself out there. And so, yes, in terms of flow, you always want to be in a state of flow, and that means being open to change and being open to taking risks, and trusting yourself and trusting your divine guidance team, like knowing that you're gonna always make the right decision, right? You're not who you used to be, so you're not going to trust somebody that's got red flags all over them, right? But my guys just want to make it super clear that this doesn't mean just throwing yourself in with the wolves. Like don't go into where shit's on fire and be like, oh, I got hurt again, I got burned again, you know? Like, obviously you're going to be doing it wisely, but you can't stay where you're at. Okay, so the message here is like, if you don't do something, something is going to be forced upon you. And sometimes it's just like your tire blows while you're driving down the road and you have to like go spend money on some new tires because you ran over a nail or something, you know, like that is going to make flow happen because you're putting money out. So it's, you know, those are just things like, that's how kind of an energy works. Like if you're not keeping it going, then your guides will help things move. So your first assignment is to find something that you've never done before and do it. Now you can do this like through Meetup, you know, finding like some sort of group that you want to join, go on a hike, maybe go out and stand up paddleboard. If you've never done that, try something new, maybe go take a craft class for sculpting. But it's definitely like, you know, they're saying find something that you've either always said, like, I've always wanted to try that, and do it, right? Hey, I'm not a huge fan of those dating apps, but maybe just set up an account, right, with a dating app and maybe go on a date. But like, put yourself out there and create that state of flow and risk. If there's something that you've always wanted to try it. If there's something that scares you, do it, right? You know, within reason, obviously, but it definitely, like, you got to do something. So figure that out, and then come back and comment and tell me what it is that you've done. So then we asked, how can you grow from this current experience that you're in? And we got Iya of Fire, California Poppy, and the Three of Wands. Talk about fire, baby. I mean, we've got 2 fire cards, just like super freaking high energy fire. The Iya of Fire, or California Poppy, is the daughter of fire, which would be the traditional Page of Wands in your classic tarot. And we see this woman with, like, it looks like a fire agate or a carnelian sphere. Maybe it's like a black obsidian with red sheen. I love crystals, by the way. Love them more and more and more. Anyway, she is like doing some scrying here, and we're seeing this table full of poppies, and she is like full. I just love the page energy. It reminds me of a puppy, like a 2-year-old puppy. Like, it's just very happy. It's very excited. It doesn't have all this like trauma, and they're just like a little naive, right? But just like super excited. And I just love that energy. It's just such a positive, uplifting, excited energy. And then with this Three of Wands, we're seeing, it looks like a seagull diving into the ocean to get some fish. And it's also this like charging, going straight to what you want, get it, right? And yes, so they're saying this is absolutely connected to what I was saying your first assignment is, which is, you know, take a risk. Go out there and create something, plant something, make a garden, start crafting jewelry, I don't know, do something, go on a camping trip, right? Find something that excites you and get it done, right? They're saying that this could also be something like writing and then putting your poetry out on like some sort of thread where people share poetry, you know, or short stories. Like putting your creativity out there. If you're like super introverted, you know, you need to put your stuff out there, get some critiquing, get some feedback, you know. But it's definitely like, let's do this, right? Let's build something. And And so they're pointing to the gold card again. So the 36 gold card that we saw for the Divine Feminine's energy, you don't need someone else to fix you. And they're saying that this is connected, that the Daughter of Fire, California Poppy, is connected to the gold card. So I'm hearing for at least one of you, you have some trauma around your creativity, either from your parents or your ex, one of your exes, multiple exes. But I'm hearing that you've been shamed, and I'm hearing even singing, like that you need to exercise your throat chakra and really like vocalize. So I am hearing singing, but sometimes this expression is through written word or through creating a painting or something with your hands, right? That is also a form of communication. But I am hearing that one of the blocks that you have is around being embarrassed, told that you weren't talented or that you couldn't. So you were shamed, humiliated, embarrassed. I just feel like there's a lot of trauma around your creativity and your communication. So that what you'll want to maybe do, okay, so this is actually kind of a secondary part of the first assignment, which is find that thing that you're afraid of and do it. So they want to kind of talk a little bit more about it in terms of getting in touch with that inner child and remembering what used to excite you. You can do this by just closing your eyes and meditating. If you work with cards, you can go ahead and do a little reading for yourself, asking your guides to help you remember the things that excite you or used to excite you, and have that like conversation with your inner child self about what he or she really enjoyed or made him or her super happy. And there's some healing there, and this is definitely, they're like, this is directly connected with your ability to love, because creativity is an expression of love. And because you were shut down in this particular area, and you have not picked it back up again in over a decade, that it's time for you to repair that aspect of your heart. And your throat, right? All of the chakras work together. We know this, right? But definitely, like, I feel, well, the heart chakra is referred to as the bridge between our lower trinity and our upper trinity chakras. So ultimately, everything comes back to love. Everything. Yeah. So let's get on that. So, right, we've got the assignment of doing what we're afraid of. You might need to do this assignment first, which is figure out what it is that you're really like, that really makes your heart sing. Then I asked, how can you help develop your bond with your divine counterpart for the greatest good? Now, I worded this question specifically in this way so that we are looking at healing a bond that is for the greatest good. That being said, if your divine counterpart has too much heavy karma to ever come into union in this life, then this bond isn't going to be deepened in a way that is going to hold you back from living in love and joy and being with someone that you deserve, okay? But this is definitely like a way to strengthen a bond that, in particular with the twin flames, that they are intrinsically connected as souls. So that bond still needs to be healthy and strong. However, we don't want it to be a burden or to hold us back, okay? So we have the 9 of Earth apple, Hierophant, and Strength again. Strength from a different deck, obviously. Okay, so I just love apples. They're one of my favorite fruits, and they are a fruit of abundance and joy. And contrary to some religious beliefs, but apples are a sign of abundance Yes. So we have this earth energy with giving and receiving. This is about reciprocity. I always trip over that word, reciprocity. I believe that's how you say it anyway. And we have the energy of strength and the Hierophant. So we're looking at study or becoming a mentor. And again, embodying this energy of confronting your deepest fears. So what I'm hearing is that you need to be willing to receive some guidance from somebody or some people or some entity, energetic, spiritual guidance team member, but that you want to make sure that you are not creating such a narrow scope in your life that you aren't inviting advice. And so they're saying that this is also part of setting up our boundaries, right? And we set up our boundaries, they're necessary. We need to take them down, which becomes difficult. So yes, I've been through this, and it's still, it's like I'm still finding blocks that I have set up. They're much smaller walls now, but I still have some walls in some aspects of my life, just in terms of trusting people. Because if you're like me, you've been burned many, many times because you know, as a child, you were always a giver. You are somebody that loves to love, and you were attracted to people that are damaged because you want to help them. And what ended up happening is that you got damaged in the mix. And this went on for a very long time, yes? So now we are older, we are wiser, we have to go back and try to rediscover the same energy of that innocence of youth, of being hopeful and wanting to love and be like expressive and putting ourselves out there and, you know, putting ourselves in a vulnerable position. But know now that you're wiser, right? So this, I know, is a repeat message, and it's being repeated for a reason, right? So your guides are saying, like, you're a giver and you still do give, but you need to receive. Okay, so you want to open your heart up to receiving some valuable lessons. Now, this could be from a book, it could be from a person, it could be from a spiritual guidance team. But I definitely am hearing that you need to be open to learn some new things, that you don't know everything. And there are some new lessons being offered to you in regards to how to be strong in a new way. Yeah, because you know, this strength of boundaries is powerful and beautiful, but now that we're going to help to kind of break down some of our walls, obviously we're not going to be naive, right? We still are going to have some protection up, a wise protection source, but we're going to let down some of those walls, and we're going to start letting some people in. And, you know, we're going to make sure that they go through our bouncer first at the door. Like, are you, you know, check IDs, like, can you come into this club? I don't know if you're able to come here, because you might be, you know, causing a ruckus up in here, so you may or may not be able to come in. That's a funny analogy. I love that. So, you know, but definitely, like, there's a lot of abundance being given to you, whether it's like through advice or through support or through money, you know, financial support. But I feel like you're not even seeing it, like, because you're too obsessed with kind of controlling your space and making sure that it's safe. And so because you are so obsessed with looking at that, you're not letting these other opportunities come in. So I love that message. So they're saying, like, again, I love this. This is definitely kind of part of the same exercise or lesson, is that if it is, like, let's say you've always wanted to weld metal, and now you need to find a teacher to teach you, you know, how to weld metal. So they're saying to go ahead and be proactive about finding this teacher. And not only are you going to like proactively do research either on Yelp or, I don't know, just a Google search or talking to people that might know something about something, like, oh, hey, I'm really interested in picking up sculpting. Do you know of a really great sculpture studio around, asking friends, putting yourself out there, really and then also asking your spiritual guidance team. Don't forget that they're here too. And you can just say, hey, I am open to change. I am ready for change. Please help me trust in you and trust in this process of being more vulnerable and learning new things. Yes. Great. Okay. So far, this particular course isn't super densely packed with a lot of exercises. So I love that for us. It's a little bit lighter, a little bit. So then we move into what can you do to raise your vibration? From the Super Attractor deck, we have, when I'm patient, I let the universe do for me what I cannot do for myself. And yep, there it is again, right? Because I was saying I channel the next card, right? Don't forget that the universe, your divine guidance team is out there working hard for you. But if you don't invite their help, and if you don't remind yourself every morning when you wake up, how can I be of service? How can you help me be of service? Help me, have open eyes today, right? If you're not out there reminding yourself, which literally I have to remind myself every day. And if I don't, I'll just be going about my day, and then something will happen where I will remember oh, shoot, I forgot to be hey, I want to be present today, and I want to be open to learning and just being an expression of joy, So be patient and let the universe show you what you cannot do for yourself, right? Because quite honestly, this energy that I'm picking up on off of you with the boundaries, it's pretty tight. I feel it's very densely locked. So you could definitely use some assistance from a divine guidance team member or the entire team. We also have opportunity to forgive. This situation brings you the opportunity to heal, grow, and release negative patterns. Hold the intention of seeing the other person's inner divine light and goodness. We will help you release unforgiving thoughts, feelings, and energies, and lift you to a higher place of peace and compassion. Perfect, right? That's exactly what we need. So they're saying one of the ways that you're going to help to kind of soften your defense is to forgive the people that have hurt you, of course. So every time forgiveness comes up, I like to remind you of a song called The Long Time Sun by Sanatam Kaur. It's on Spotify and probably on YouTube. And it's a song or a prayer that repeats 3 times. The first time you hear the words, the verse, you want to send that prayer to yourself. Make sure your cup is full. The second time you hear it, you want to bless somebody you love and care about deeply. And then the third time, you want to bless somebody that has hurt you or betrayed you. This song is sung at the end of every Kundalini yoga class, and it is so potent, so powerful. I led this full moon workshop this last Friday, and everybody cried. So, it's such a way, right, which we know tears are such a powerful healer. So it's a wonderful way to just simplify the forgiving process. And I think that you can benefit from doing this every day. So this is our next exercise in the course today is forgiveness. Honestly, I feel like forgiveness comes up every time I teach this class because this is part of being a human being, and is part of acknowledging that nobody's perfect, including ourselves. And I'm sure that you can think of at least one occasion in your life that you've inadvertently hurt somebody's feelings. It might have been something nowhere near as badly as you've been hurt, of course, but even in the simplest way, we have hurt people. And it's so important to remember that you can't hold everybody up to the standards that you hold up for yourself, because not everybody was raised the way you were raised. Not everybody has the same soul experience that you have. Some people are younger souls that just don't know what the hell they're doing. And a lot of people are creating negative karma that they need to create to learn valuable lessons to help them develop as a soul, right? We're all in this together. And I think it's really important to remember that everybody is just out there doing the best they can. And they may be the biggest asshole on the planet, and you can be like, there's absolutely no way that person is doing the best that they can. And the truth is that they are, because if they could do better, then they would do it, right? So maybe the best that they can do is what you see, and that is a very sad, sad situation. So let's just take a moment to pray for all of those people that don't know what true love is, and they don't know how to give it because they've never received it when they needed it when they were young. And now they're running around with these wounded hearts, and they have literally no clue how to love. It's kind of tragic, you know? So let's just pray for them that they may get to know love in this life, and that they can stop creating negative karma, because it will come back around. It always does. And start creating more positive karma and know love and joy in this life. If not with you, with someone else. Yeah? Okay. Then we asked, what is my divine counterpart mirroring to me? What is your divine counterpart mirroring to you? Right? So everybody's a mirror. Twin flames are more specific mirrors, but every single person that you interact with is definitely reflecting some stuff at you. And we have, I let the universe catch up with my dreams, which to me is like patience again. And reward yourself. You've been giving a lot of yourself lately, and it's time for you to receive. There's that receiving message again. Make the time to reward yourself in a meaningful way. This balance of giving and receiving is essential to keeping your energy, mood, and motivation at a consistently high level. So your divine counterpart is mirroring that you need to love yourself. Now, they might be doing this by ignoring you. And that says, okay, stop trying to focus on them and focus on you. Whatever love, okay, I love this message. Whatever love that you want to give your divine counterpart, whether you know exactly who they are or they're just an idea in your mind, but think of all of the things that you want to do for them or with them. Like, think of the depth of that love. Okay, and then give it to yourself. The universe, I let the universe catch up with my dreams, right? I let go of expectation, and I allow all of that goodness to come to me, not at the wrong time, but at the most perfect divine time for my greatest good and my highest joy. So be it, so be it, so be it. Thank you, God. Thank you, angels. Thank you for showing me how to treat myself with kindness, love, and respect. Thank you for teaching me how to love myself and how to give to myself and how to receive the love that other people want to give me. I love that this message is echoed to you in this particular way, that your divine counterpart is mirroring that to you. So if your divine counterpart is causing you pain and suffering, the message is to love yourself, right? Give yourself the love that you wish you could receive. And if your divine counterpart is showing you love, then that is also a sign to love yourself and give yourself love. So let's just celebrate you. Okay, yes, so your next exercise is to schedule in your appointment book or on your Google Calendar, but to book a date with yourself. Now, this can be going to a spa, getting your nails done, getting a haircut, getting a foot massage or a pedicure. It could be spending an hour on a walk in nature on the beach. It could be taking a yoga class or a meditation class. Anything that you would qualify as something you don't have time for, or something that's too expensive, right? Something that you wish you could have, but you just never give yourself. Yes? So you have 4 weeks to complete that assignment, right? Because I will come back in another month with our next course. Now, I know I was a little delayed with this one, but I finally got my office not too long ago, and I'm finally getting a schedule in place. So this is all good news for me and for you. Okay, so the final 2 cards that I pulled is your angel guidance message. And we have, when I'm tuned in to the energy of abundance, I become abundant. And one of my favorite cards, Law of Attraction, each thought is an investment that pays immediate dividends. So invest wisely. You have the power to choose your thoughts and align them with love, peace, and harmony. At your request, we will gladly attune your energies to higher frequencies. I love this. Okay, so let's do this, yeah? This is an exercise that we're going to do immediately, and I will timestamp this in the description box. You can come back to this every day or once a week, but come back to this frequently and do it with me, okay? When I'm tuned in to the energy of abundance, I become abundant. Angels of truth, love, and light, I call upon you now. I ask you to align me with the power of abundance, of receiving energy and of giving energy. I ask to be aligned with the power of love frequency, of pure light. I ask to be a beacon of truth, to embody joy, and to live in this present moment in joy. I welcome all of the beautiful opportunities that you want me to see. I take my blinders off and ask for your divine guidance at this time, angels. I ask for your divine assistance in allowing me to see all of the beauty that there is in this world, to be brave and to have the courage and strength to confront the things that are holding me back, and to live my life with an open heart full of love. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. May we all be blessed in love and light. May we all live our divine purpose. May we never forget the power of love. May we never forget why we're here, which is to always love and to live in joy. Thank you, God. Thank you, angels. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Please share my content. Please help me share this energy of abundance with the world. And I will talk to you soon. Take care. Do your assignments. I love you so much. Mwah.